Welcome to the Women's National League Wrap for Series 5. I'm joined again by Seana and Alanna. And this week, DLR versus Athlone was postponed, but we still have 4 games to get through. So I'm going to kick right off with Peamount against Wexford on Friday night, 4-0. I think, it was really the first kind of game between the top 3 sides being Peamount, Shelburne, Wexford. So it was kind of the first sort of feel we got for them playing each other. Seana, it was not the scoreline that I expected anyway. What did you make of the game?
No, I was shocked in terms of the scoreline, but in terms of how Peamount played, it didn't surprise me. I just thought they were brilliant in possession, out of possession. I think their first goal came around the 5th minute, but they had multiple chances before that. They were so quickly at closing the Wexford players down when they didn't have the ball. They were getting numbers around the ball, and then when they were winning it back, just the desire of the likes of Erin McLaughlin and Anya Gorman, Steph, even Dora to kind of join in attacks. It was just like, it was so good to watch. I really enjoyed the game, but I do think on another day the scoreline could have been different. I think Wexford had a few cleared off the line, that maybe they were just a bit out of luck on the night as well.
Yeah, I also think Jetta Barrow for me was immense. Like her attacking, of course, but I think just her defending, her tracking back as well and clearing the ball. What did you think of her performance as well?
Yeah, she's a phenomenal player. I think I was fortunate enough to play alongside Jetta at the 2013 World Shooting Games, and it was then that I really seen the talent that she had. She's a player that plays with a lot of energy. She's really good on the ball. She takes information on really well too. And I think over the years she's had developed a good relationship with the likes of Anya Gorman and Karen. So I think it made sense for her to move to Peamount. And you can see over her performances so far, it's really, really worked out well for her. But I know playing against the likes of, when you're playing in a team with Anya Gorman and Steph, it's difficult enough, but then to have someone like Jetta against you as well, I could just imagine it's relentless. So I'm delighted for her to see her back in the league again and playing, phenomenal football. So I'm excited to see how she fares over the course of the season.
Yeah, it was a massive 3 points for Peamount as well. Now down at Turner's Cross, Cork City managed to get their first win of the season, Alanna, against Bohemians. It was 2-1, like a massive 3 points for them. Were there any players that stood out to you in that game?
Yeah, I think there's a few I really like. As you said, it's a massive result for Cork City, given especially the way the Sligo Peamount result got resettled there at the weekend. Like, it's so vital to be picking up these points and stay within touching distance of each other. So I think that was really good. And against Bows too, that's no mean feat. So yeah, as you said, I think Eva Mangan and Natalie O'Brien and Becky Casson, of course, were good for Cork. And while they may have had the rub of the green maybe for some of the goals, they did put a great shift in, and it makes it interesting down there in that part of the table, because as I said, all those points are vital, and yeah, it'll be interesting going forward.
Yeah, I thought Cork City's first goal as well was there was a question offside for the pass, I know, but look, for me it was onside. I thought it was a great ball, and a great performance by Cork. And I suppose a game that surprised me a little bit was Shells versus Sligo. Shells really had to work right to the end to get that goal. Obviously, Kiva Keenan got the winning goal. I think it was the 92nd minute or something. Seana, what did you make of the performance from both of the sides?
Yeah, I think it'd be doing a disservice to Sligo to say that Shells had an off day, because I don't think that was the case. I think Steve Feeney and his management team obviously worked on a way of playing to frustrate Shells. They were organised so quickly in the game. They didn't let kind of Shells break them down. The discipline and focus that takes is, it's really incredible, especially from an amateur team to do. It's very, very difficult to do over 90 minutes. I thought Lauren Bowles especially, and Emma Hands in midfield, the work rate they put in over the course of their time on the pitch was immense. I really thought it was going to go their way. I did think maybe they deserved at least a draw out of the game. They had the pen shout and then the chance at the end. So I did kind of feel for them a bit, but it's lessons learned for them. I'm sure they'll look back and actually take a lot of satisfaction in how they played, even to be a bit frustrated with the result. And I think that's testament to them to come out of that game and be frustrated that they didn't get a result. That's something they probably wouldn't have anticipated at the start of the season. But look at, shells are shells. Like, we've seen the amount of late winners they got last year, and I think they were only short of throwing the kitchen sink at Sligo, and unfortunately just a bit too much at a time. But a great goal from Kiva Keenan, in fairness. Delighted for her to come back from injury after a big setback last year. But I thought it was a good game of football. Probably not the most exciting, but for me personally, being a football person, I was just so impressed with watching Sligo and how organised and disciplined they were. And I personally think they're going to grow after that result, and they'll probably look back at the end of the season and say, do you know what, that result didn't go our way, but it helped us to push on.
Yeah, I completely agree. I also think when it comes to the end of the season, I think Shells will look at that game and go, thank God we got the 3 points, because I think, when it comes to at the very end of the season, it could all add up, you know what I mean, like last season as well. Finally, Alanna, Galway got the victory down in Markets Field against Treaty United. It was really tough, I thought. Treaty United display, I thought their defence was quite good. But Galway, after they got their 2 goals in the second half, they seemed relatively comfortable in their performance.
Yeah, definitely. As I said, there wasn't really much in it, but when Galway did take the lead, you knew they were going to get a grip on it and kind of be dominant then. But they kind of had a penalty check. Well, they did have a penalty earlier on, and that was saved by Michaela Mitchell. I think that gave Treaty a bit of confidence kind of in the rest of the game. She saved Julianne Russell's strike from the spot. But yeah, I think that gave them a lot of confidence. 0-0 even at halftime. And then it took, until the 63rd minute until Galway scored 2 headers, Emma Starr and Aoife Thompson. But yeah, I thought Shauna Brennan was brilliant when she came on for Lindsay McKee. And of course, like, Julianne was brilliant as per as well, and had a big part in those goals. I think for Treaty, Jessie and Alex were quite good, as was Amy Madden. And maybe they can take the positives from that performance and bring it into their next round against, I think it's Sligo they play next, actually. So, as I said before, the points all add up, and I'm sure they'll be looking at that game as maybe some they can rob a few for.
Yeah. Well, finally, I'll ask before you go, do you have a goal, your favourite goal from the weekend? Alanna, I'll come to you first, actually.
I thought I think it was the second Pima goal, the Steph Roach one. I thought that was quite good, because like Shauna was mentioning, on another day, maybe that result goes a different way, but to get the 2 goals gives you that cushion, and it kind of let them push on from there. So I'm going to go for that one. It was a brilliant strike too.
Yeah. And Shauna, what about you?
I was going to pick a Peamount one, but since Alanna a Peamount one, I wouldn't want to, get too much of a big head. So I'm going to go for Cork. I think Eva Mangan's pass for the first goal was, whether or not it was offside, but that pass to split 2 centre halves was an absolute brilliant pass. And Eva Cronin, for, I think, over the course of the season, her work, in attack for Cork has often gone kind of unseen, but to chase that ball down, I just thought it was a good goal for Cork, right from the pass from Eva Mangan to the finish. So I'm going to say Cork's first goal.
Yeah, brilliant. I'm going to give a shout out to Erin McLaughlin's 3rd goal for Peamount. I thought it was an absolute rocket of a goal. But thanks for joining me, guys, and I'll speak to you very soon.